Good afternoon guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel. Today I will start a series of videos that I'm sure will be very interesting for you because I wanna explain to you how to DIY your own rally nav tower. As you all know, rally kits can be pretty expensive. Here on my channel you've seen the Rebel X Sports kits, the Aurora rally kits. They're pretty expensive, but there is a reason for that because there is a lot of technology involved regarding the development and the tools needed for developing these rally kits so that they can fit like a glove and be, reliable even for rallies like Dakar or to travel around the world. But everyone has different needs. So I want to really help those of you that want to develop their own nav tower and don't have the budget, to invest thousands of euros in buying it. I'll tell you which tools we can use. Today we have a Yamaha WR450F 2020 model. We'll see how to start analyzing how to make the frame clamp for the nav tower. The frame clamp is the most important part of the bike, which means it's the most critical part of the development. To start analyzing the frame, companies that produce rally kits like Rebel X Sports use very expensive 3D scanner arms. Rebel X Sports uses, and I also personally use sometimes, the Romer Absolute arm by Hexagon. Then to check the scan, you need a professional software. You can't use any free software, it's very difficult. And we use Geomagic Design X, which is about 12,000 euros software. But I have you covered because today instead I'm gonna teach you how to use inexpensive equipment, and we will do a full development of a nav tower like I promised in some videos ago, using only things we can find at the hardware store. Just a quick disclaimer, we won't do the full DIY tower on this Yamaha WR450 2020 model. Why? Because it's a brand new bike, and I'm speaking to all those of you that want to, refurbish like an old bike. So I'm thinking of setting a sort of challenge with you guys. I want to find a bike and build it and develop, the nav tower with a budget of maximum 2,000, 2,500 euros. So I'm gonna look for some old used bikes from the 90s, and then we'll do all the development on that bike. But at the moment, to start analyzing the frame, we will do it on this bike because I don't have yet found any good offer for used bikes. But in the next episodes, we'll move on to another bike to do the further steps. Getting into the practical now, the first thing we will do, we will remove the headlight, the front wheel and the forks. In this way, we will have access to get all the measurements of the main frame headstock. And I'll quickly show you also the tools I'm gonna use because we have different alternatives for different budgets. Once we remove the forks, the wheel, the headlight, and also the OEM dashboard, we move the cables away, and we have here our frame headstock. This will be the point of interest to start analyzing where we can have any mounting points so that we can avoid the drilling holes. On some frames, you'll have to drill 2 holes here in the headstock, and this means you'll have to also remove the triple clamps. But now we're in a studying phase, an analysis phase. Here I can see I have on the Yamaha a hole here, then I have 1 hole on the side, an M6 hole, and another M6 hole on the other side. So these potentially could be 3 mounting points. But how do we take the measurements? In this video, I'll show you different tools, but I'm gonna focus on this one. This is a 3D scanner, but not like the Romer Absolute arm. This is a scanner, 3D scanner, that is affordable to almost anyone. It's not that precise like the professional ones, but we managed to use it sometimes when we were on the go and retrieve some good information with a tolerance of 1-2 millimeters, which is quite a lot. But if you're doing a DIY project, you can trial and error, and so 1 millimeter is not that bad. This scanner is the Sense by 3D Systems. It's not sponsored video, we bought this, and its price range is between 350 to 400 euros here in Europe. So I guess this makes it, in my opinion, the best budget 3D scanner. Also, once you buy this, you get also a free software for the 3D scan, which I'll show you. And that's great because softwares may cost a lot of money. So I'll also advise you on which free softwares you can use and where you can register. And what we will do, we will 3D scan here the frame, and then we'll obtain an STL file from which then we will retrieve the measurements. Let's say you don't have the budget to spend 350 euro on a tool that you'll use only once, even though I'll tell you, once you have this and you like to do custom stuff on your bike, you'll use it a lot. We can get and use a gauge. I advise you to get a good one, not a cheap plastic one. They have also digital versions. I find the digital version easier to use. You can use a goniometer. This also is very important because this will let you measure the angle of certain surfaces. You can use a simple ruler. It will be a bit more complicated if you're gonna do all the job using a ruler. The classical worker measuring tape, also this, super cheap. You can find it anywhere. This could be an interesting tool. I have no idea how it's called, but this is a tool that is used to do floors. So to get the precise angle when you need to cut a floor, but we can potentially use it even here for the frame, do something like this, and then draw on a piece of paper the frame. So I think this is a pretty cool tool, useful and super cheap. But then there is the magical tool, and probably it's one of the best tools, an instrument that I'm sure your grandmother has, and any grandmother around the world. And in fact, I got it from my grandmother's kitchen. The dressmaker tape. This tape is super useful because you can bend it, you can put it anywhere on the bike, and even in small places and tight sections you can get the measurement, which in my opinion makes it one of the best instruments to always have in your garage. Go to your wife, go to your mother or to your grandmother and just get this out of their drawers and bring it in your garage. But when you go get it, be quick and be sure they don't catch you, because then at least my grandmother, she'll shout at me for one day if I get it and she can't find it. To start with, we can see we have a flat surface here. This is very good because it makes it a good mounting point. We have 9 centimeters. This means the clamp can be maximum 9 centimeters high, and the width will be of maximum 4 centimeters. So now start jotting down a drawing, with the dimensions. We know this is the limit, but then we need to check also what is the actual width of the frame, and that's a bit more tricky, but it's about 7 centimeters. This means when we will design some brackets, they'll be 9 centimeters apart, and so the clamp might need to be wider, or we'll have to bend here the brackets. Other important thing, we have this threaded hole on the side, and we want to know how far it is from the center of the frame. Put it here, and we can see it's 7 centimeters approximately from the center of the frame. So when designing the part, we'll know we have to bring it 5 centimeters. It will be a flat bracket of 5 centimeters and then a bend and 2 centimeters to get to the center of the frame. Now that we've looked at the frame and started getting a few measurements, there are 2 options on how you can design your nav tower bracket. Either you can drill 2 holes here in the center of the frame, and it means you'll only need a block of aluminium here and drill the hole so that it keeps it stable. Or if you want to design a plug and play system, so developing some brackets that go around the frame, you'll need the goniometer, and in this way we can see at what angle we'll need to have the brackets at in respect of the frame. Okay, in this case the side of the frame is 110 degrees respect this flat surface. This means that you can see we'll design, you can even just get a piece of paper and draw it. By drawing in this way, you'll start to really visualize the opportunities on how to design around the frame. Clearly, if all you have is a ruler, your job will be a lot more difficult, but yet still possible. Same if you have this type of ruler, this tape. The good thing of this type of construction worker tape is that you can bend it. It's not gonna be that precise because you have some gaps, but at least can help you get in some tight spots. The gauge is a very precise tool, but it has its limitation. For example, we can use the gauge to see how deep this hole is. Using this side, we can check how deep from the lowest spot the hole is, approximately 20 millimeters. Which means if we are gonna put a pin inside here or a bolt, it will have 20 millimeters, or if we want to thread this. Now let's move onto the modern way of taking measurements with the scanner. The Sense scanner has a cool feature that it doesn't need any power cable. It's powered by the USB. I'll only plug in the scanner and then I'll open up its own app. The free software included with the 3D scanner is called 3D Systems Sense. We open it up, and the very useful and intuitive thing of the software and the scanner is that you're ready on the go. You don't have to program anything. It's very easy, super user-friendly. Anyone, literally even a baby, can go and play around and scan something. Also, if you have a hot girlfriend, you can scan her and then 3D print her, so that at least she doesn't talk and breaks your balls. We are ready to start. The only uncomfortable thing with this heavy laptop is that I have to keep it in my hand because I'll have to move around the bike. Probably if I had a Surface, it's like a computer and tablet, that would be easier. Now I'll decide I'm scanning an object, not a head and not a body. I can also adjust some settings, like if it's a big object or a small object. I hit record. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The zone of interest for me is the frame, so I'll focus on this mainly. Even I'll get the triple clamps, the fender, get even the radiator shrouds, because these I might need then for the side fairing panels. Okay, I 3D scanned the area of my interest. Potentially I could 3D scan even the radiator shrouds and do, something cool and also then upload it, but I'm interested in the frame. So this is what has to come out nicely from the 3D scan file. I don't care even if this is not perfect, because we are focusing on this. Now that we finished the 3D scan, very nice feature is you can see even the colors on the scan, but you can decide what you want to see. If you want to erase some stuff, you go in the settings and you can put show color. I'll remove it and you see you can avoid seeing the color. You can put a wireframe. You can do different settings, and I find it very useful. I like to leave it now to show you here with the color, so you see all the area of the frame. I can twist it around the 3D object now, and I can clearly zoom in, and I'd say that the holes came out pretty well. There is a cable there in the middle. I'll have to do another 3D scan because you see the black wires are in the way, but I can see the central hole where I can put the pin, or where I can thread this hole and put a bolt. Then I can see the right hand side hole that's already threaded. It's an M6 hole. From this, once we finished and we checked the 3D scan, which we can play around and move it anywhere we want, we hit finish. Well, you can repair or erase some sections. For example, there is this area I'm not interested, so I'll do erase, and I'll just color here, and it will erase that part. I'll also erase all this section of the radiator shroud, because now I'm not interested in those. I'll use this again when I need to design the side panels. In this way, the file will be a smaller file and easier to work on. Once I've erased all the parts I don't need from this 3D scan, I'll go hit apply, and it's ready. Then hit finish, and we can either upload it to Sketchfab. If you don't, you can get an account for free on Sketchfab, and you can upload, I think it's 1 3D scan per month with a free plan. But you can save it, say Yamaha frame, save. But I'll also export it. I'll do export, because I can choose in the export if I want an OBJ file, STL, PLY or VRML models. Usually I use the STL. We'll save it as STL. And that's it. We have the 3D scan. It was pretty quick. Clearly, the more time and the more confidence you get with a 3D scanner, the more precise file you will get. I'm pretty happy with this. Then you'll need another software in order to start working also around it if you want to design parts. My advice is to go with a program like Autodesk Fusion 360. It's very intuitive and you can find many tutorials on the web, but also many books that you can buy. I'll link the software here in the description. I'll also link some information maybe on the 3D scanner. I won't tell you how to take the measurements from the STL file, but there's a reason for this. There are many competitor companies that are competitors of Rebel Exports, of Aurora Rally equipment, that tend to copy anything that these companies are doing. So I don't want to make their life easier because I know they study all the instruction videos, my personal instruction videos, the Aurora Rally equipment instruction videos, and try, to copy and avoid having to develop anything from scratch like we do. For this reason, I tell you, if you take your time and patience, you'll be able then to retrieve important information that will make your life a lot easier in developing your own DIY parts. Well, we are at the end of this first episode. I'm really interested in knowing your feedback. Let me know in the comments if some of the tools I showed you, you already have, or maybe you didn't even think about using them to design your own frame clamp for your DIY nav tower. In the future episodes, we'll look at buying a really budget bike and then trying to keep it as cheap as possible to make it ready for a rally, and we'll take part in a rally. I don't know when, who knows, probably it will take time. I find this object very useful, but please, if you buy this product or any other 3D scan, don't go and 3D scan your penis hoping that then it will look bigger when you play around with it on the software. It won't. So just 3D scan bikes and parts. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!